Hello, everybody. Thank you for returning to our YouTube channel. I am Brian with Technology United for Ukraine. We are now partnered with the Birds of Fury. They're a Ukrainian military R&D group that works with us to create innovative technologies for the Ukrainian armed forces. So if you're an engineer, scientist, technologist, or just somebody who wants to help out the Ukrainian armed forces, please, link is in the description. Go down there, click on our website, Technology United for Ukraine, and sign up. All right, let's get right into this. So the 5th of January, currently the amount of Russian troops personnel that have expired on the battlefield has now hit 796,490, with 1,730 being added. Tanks have now hit 9,686, with 7 being added. Armored personnel carriers, troop carriers, have now hit 20,119, with 26 being added. And then the one really critical number has hit 21,603, with 25 being added, and that is artillery systems. So there's one number I never really talk about. Actually, two I'd like to talk about is this one here, which is vehicles and fuel trucks. That has hit 32,940, with 97 being lost. This is critical. These are the supply trucks and transports and all the things needed to move and feed troops. And then, as we know, there was a big UAV attack on Ukraine, but the Ukrainians were able to knock out 91 of these UAVs. So a very expensive day for the Russians, because most of their UAVs they're sending in are fairly expensive. So now, as we've heard, I'm not sure if you have, but what's all been up in the news is this new offensive that the Ukrainians have conducted in Kursk. Russian bloggers were the first to start talking about this counteroffensive in the Kursk region. And what we're seeing is, let me pull up my map here. All right. So here is Kursk right here. And the Ukrainians are now moving out this way to the north and to the east. So in the direction of Kursk a little bit, but they're also moving out this way. So it's going this way and that way. And I'll show you on another map what they're doing, what I think they might be doing there. All right, so let's look at some video that came out of this offensive. This is a video here of the Ukrainians moving. This is a heavily guarded with EW, electronic warfare, and there are videos of FPVs from the Russians just not making it even close. So they're bringing some very powerful EW. I have not seen the use of any fiber drones in this area, so that is a good thing for the Ukrainians. And this is a closer look at, let me blow this up, at the exact strategic movement. So they're going this way. And then they're fanning out this way here. So they're going in two different directions. So they'll secure this. And then likely what they want to do is come in here and maybe close this off and take more of this road. So they might be able to take this much area here. I don't know what their plans are. They're not telling us. And that is good OPSEC policy. So good for the Ukrainians for not leaking it. Because I don't think the Russians were really prepared for this. And I'll tell you why is if I pull this map up here, the Russians have been heavily focused over here because the North Koreans have been really taking massive losses. Strategically, tactically, they've been very flawed, inexperienced, and they've had to reinforce this area. Even though they have all these North Koreans in here, they've had to significantly reinforce this with Chechens and Russian troops. And that has probably taken the focus off on this area here. So now the Ukrainians have taken advantage of that, and they are rapidly moving forward and taking the Russians by surprise. But we'll see what their counterattack will be. All right, let's move up here a little bit. This is another video, or is this a still? This is a photo, sorry, of the Ukrainian convoys moving into the new Kursk offensive. And here is another one. And they're working again with very heavy EW systems. And here was another article I wanted to, kind of get into when I was talking about how bad the North Koreans are doing. This article kind of goes into it. The North Korean soldiers are getting decimated. I mean, they're just losing massive amounts of soldiers every day. And a lot of it has to do with them just not understanding modern warfare, modern technology, because in North Korea, this stuff is blocked. So they don't really get to see what the outside world has and really train with it. And communication is an issue. And, just simply the difference between Russian and North Korean, they can't speak. So this has really set up a disaster in this area. And then the Russians are also suffering from record high desertions among the amid the Ukraine war challenges. So they're trying to fill these losses every month, and they're running out of the ability to do that. Getting quality trained troops takes time. Getting the right troops takes time, right? So you want the right troops and the right training, but they can't do any of that. And as these losses are outpacing what they can bring back in, and then having desertions because these soldiers are being thrown on the front lines with very little training and then being put up and knowing that this could be a death sentence for them. So this is a very interesting development that is rapidly taking off. And obviously Putin don't look happy here. I'm sure that's what's going through his head. This is what he looks like inside of his own head, just struggling with all of these things not going his way. I can't predict how far they're going to go in this offensive. I know they've been getting really beat up, the Ukrainian generals and Zelensky, for this Kursk offensive, but it has been a heavy distraction for the Russian military. It does put them in a negotiation place, for future negotiation for a peace deal. But we'll see. If Russian forces begin to collapse, that Kursk area will become a real bridgehead. So as they collapse, they'll be able to take more and more and more and more land. And that will really signify the end of Russia, because they'll have to pull everything out of Ukraine at that point to shore up their homeland. But again, we'll see. It's all conjecture. Now let's look at the ruble. The ruble has been up and down. We see it's at, let me go ahead and update this here. We're going to switch this around. It's down, it's at 110 right now. It hit some peaks of 113. I do remember seeing it hit 115, but it is not showing that here. But so the economy is also suffering. Again, we're not sure where this is all going to go, but it doesn't look like the Russians are faring well at this point. How much more time do they have? We don't know. So anyways, everybody like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to become a part of us, link is in the description. Also, check out the Birds of Fury.